Let us explore how to prevent practicing Pilates for lower back pain. Hello and welcome! Today we are discussing the common mistakes to avoid when practicing Pilates for lower back pain. Pilates can be an excellent tool for strengthening your core and supporting your spine. But if not done correctly, certain habits can actually aggravate your pain. So let us explore how to prevent this and practice more effectively. But before we begin, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because by doing this, you help us share these important tips with more people, and together we can support more instructors in delivering excellent Pilates classes. So let's see together the mistake number 1. But before the mistake number 1, please subscribe. I'll give you a few seconds. Mistake number 1. Confusion about tucking the pelvis. Many people think you should always keep a neutral pelvis in Pilates. While this is often true, it really depends on the type of exercise you are doing. For example, if your feet are in contact with the floor, then your feet are grounded, and we call that closed kinetic chain. So when the kinetic chain is closed, like an exercise such as shoulder bridge, that I will demonstrate you now, my feet are in contact with this apparatus, so I am into a closed kinetic chain. So it means my pelvis is well supported because of the feet touching a surface. So then I am going first to gently imprint, because it's a spinal articulation. So we want first to mobilize the spine into spinal articulation. So I will start first to imprint, but be careful, because imprint is not when the lumbar spine should not melt the mat. It's about melting the mat, and it's not about jamming against the mat. So we don't want to connect the superficial muscles here. We want to connect the transversus abdominis, the deep abdominal layers. So it's about shortening the distance between my two fingers, between the hip bones and the rib cage. I am shortening my obliques, internal and external, but also my transversus abdominis, to bring the lower back melting the mat, not jamming, melting. Then I am going now, after imprint, I will recruit my gluteus in order to tuck my pelvis and articulate sequentially my spine, bone by bone, until I am landing into my shoulder bridge. When I am into my shoulder bridge position, I don't want to flatten the lower back. I want to keep this neutral alignment, because my feet are in contact with the surface. I am in a closed kinetic chain. It is safe for my lower back to work to a neutral alignment. Then from here, I am going to inhale, stay in the pose, and on my exhalation, I will create again a spinal articulation, so bone by bone, passing through imprint position, because all the vertebrae are supposed to be in contact one by one to the mat. Now I return to a neutral alignment. All right, so my feet are in contact with the surface, so I am in a closed kinetic chain. Now, if I am working into an open kinetic chain, this means that my feet will be in the air, so it will not be safe for my lower back to work into a neutral alignment. except if you are very strong, you are belonging to the advanced group of students, and then you can work still into neutral, but this is much more challenging. So here, in order to protect the lower back, you need, as your feet are in the air, in an open kinetic chain, then you need to work into imprint. So remember, imprint is when the lower back is melting the mat, all right? Then you can, do your practice into imprinted position. So this was very important for me to explain a little bit the difference. The mistake number 2 is about over-activating the superficial muscles. In Pilates, we talk a lot about engaging the core, but often people misunderstand this to mean tensing the superficial abdominal muscles. Like if you are bracing for a punch. This can actually increase pressure on the spine and create discomfort in the lower back. Instead, think about deep, gentle activation of your transverse abdominis. The muscles, this is the muscle that is wrapping around your belly like a corset. You can practice this by imagining that you are gently drawing your belly button toward your spine, but without flattening your back against the mat. Let me demonstrate you this. A good example would be, for example, when you lie down on your back here, you see there is a little distance below my lower back. In order to connect the deepest layer of abdominal, called the transversus abdominis, we want to stabilize the pelvis here over the mobility, for example, of this leg. So here, for example, I'm going to connect my breath, my Pilates breath. I will extend my ribcage sideways, inhaling through the nose, and as I will exhale, I will narrow my ribs, and at the same time, I will lift up one leg, just isolating from the hip joint, while the pelvis should not move. I should stay into this natural neutral spine. And then I will come back, bringing my foot down, inhale. I will switch now to opposite leg. Exhale, lift up left leg. And inhale, bring it back. Now, as you palpate on your waist area here, you should really feel the corset activation, the transversus abdominis, and come back. So instead, you see, my lower back was not moving. I was not flattening my lower back to the floor. I was just staying completely still. Like, imagine if I have a glass of water on my pelvis. Imagine a glass of water now. So the glass is not moving, all right? But instead, many people will tend to do this and even force, over contract, and this will prone to create tension on their neck. Eventually, this will prone also to over connect the superficial muscles like the rectus abdominis. No, actually the muscles that are close to the skin, and here we don't want to connect only the superficial muscles. We want to connect the deep muscles. Hello. He agrees with me. Mistake number 3. So it's about neglecting the breath. Breathing is central to Pilates, but it is easy to overlook, especially when you are focused on your movements. Many people hold their breath, which is going to increase tension in the body, particularly and on the neck area, and can lead to unnecessary pressure on the lower back and tension on the neck, as I said. So remember, the breath should guide your movement. And in a Pilates class, that's why you often hear inhale to prepare. What does this mean? When I say inhale to prepare to my students, this will mean inhale and already pre-contract the deepest layer of abdominals. You see, so even before moving, we are going to pre-contract those muscles with our mind, because this is how we are connecting our core muscles. Core muscles are lazy muscles, and superficial muscles are workaholic muscles. So how do we connect the deep muscles? It's with our mind, and it's also with our breath. And it's also with the Pilates method, which is based turning around stability over mobility. So it's very important that you implement proper control and concentration to actually be able to really bring this awareness, this breathing, this breathing technique into your work. So a deep exhale will help to activate also, for example, the pelvic floor and the deep abdominals, and providing support to your lower back. So keep breathing. I'd like to demonstrate you something, for example. Here, when you actually practice this exercise that I was showing you just before, you see, I was actually inhaling to prepare my deep muscles in order to be very stable. I inhale because I want the glass. Imagine, you remember I was talking about the glass of water. So imagine the glass of water is here. I will exhale to lift up this leg, because this is actually the breathing here who is going to help me to connect my transversus abdominis, my natural corset here, to protect my lumbopelvic, the lower back, and to keep the lumbopelvic area very strong and stable. Mistake number 4. Forgetting the hips and glute muscles. It is common to focus only on the core when dealing with lower back pain, but your hips and glutes play a vital role in stabilizing the pelvis and supporting the spine. If these muscles are weak or inactive, the lower back is forced to do too much work. So in exercise like, for example, shoulder bridge, make sure to focus on gluteus activation and avoid overarching your back. This will protect the lumbar spine and reduce strain. Strong hips and glutes can help distribute the load more evenly across the pelvis and lower back. So I will demonstrate again shoulder bridge and show you again here how glutes and hips can be very important, for example, in such an exercise. I'd like to demonstrate with the spine corrector, since the spinal articulation is going to be even deeper. So I will exhale, imprint, and articulate sequentially my spine bone by bone. And as you can see, you can really clearly see that my glutes are connected here. And also what I want to see is that I am opening the front of my hips. And how I do that? I do that by connecting my glutes. Another cat can go below me. So notice the difference between wrong and correct. When I am wrong, do you clearly see here? Sorry, cat. Do you clearly see here that my hips are not opened? My glutes are not connected. Now I connect my glutes. It's opening the front of my hips. And as you can see, this is very important to connect the glutes, not only the abdominals, for such an exercise. I hope this is clear by demonstrating this exercise. To summarize, understand when to use a neutral pelvis and when to imprint. Engage your deep core muscles, not the superficial ones. Breathe deeply and regularly. Strengthen your hips and glutes. And most importantly, listen to your body. By avoiding these common mistakes, you can safely and effectively use Pilates to support your lower back and build strength in your core. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope these tips help you move better and feel better. Thank you. Goodbye. And by the way, if you found this helpful, please consider subscribing for more educational videos on Pilates and movement. Take care and see you next time to my next videos. Bye.